Hello, this is Lauren Delsek, and welcome back. In the last talk, we focused on the Draconic Sun and Draconic Moon blend. In this talk, we'll be looking at the Draconic Ascendant. What I'm doing is I'm taking you step by step at looking at what is important within the Draconic chart alone by itself. But once we start to get into bringing the Draconic chart on the outer wheel and the natal on the inner wheel, things start to become very exciting. So bear with me as we go through the essential parts of the Draconic chart before looking at it with the natal. I hope that you've been able to experiment with your own Draconic chart, and it would be extremely helpful to bring up and calculate the Draconic chart of people that you know personally, in order to see how the Draconic Sun and the Draconic Moon are a strong part of those people's makeup and personality. The natal ascendant represents how we project our identity out to the world, how we interact with the public, as well the acceptance that we look for from other people, and what others see in us. The ascendant is often the way or how we step out into the world to see what we can discover. In terms of the Draconic ascendant, it is our intuitive identity, the way, if you will, that our soul has stepped out into the world before. It is our soul's intuitive way of approaching the world along its evolutionary path. So in a sense, we get the feel, or how I interpret it is, I get the feel that the Draconic ascendant is an experienced, wise, old mask that perhaps we've worn many times before. There's a comfort level in it. My Draconic ascendant is Sagittarius, and I would say that probably 90% of the time I have lived either in a foreign country, abroad, or traveling around the world discovering new places. So Sagittarius is an enormous part of me. And in my natal horoscope, I do have Jupiter and Saturn in the 9th house, but I do not have planets in the sign of Sagittarius. My Draconic ascendant in Sagittarius makes enormous sense to me. When I have traveled abroad, it just seems to be innate to me. There's no worrying about how I'm going to get somewhere. I seem to just know where I'm going and what I'm doing, even though I've never stepped foot on that particular country in my lifetime. Filmmaker, director, and producer Michael Mohr, well known for his films Fahrenheit 9/11, Bowling for Columbine, and Sicko, 3 of the top 5 highest grossing documentary films of all times, has his Draconic ascendant in the sign of Libra. So Mohr, his higher self or his soul, approaches the world intuitively, perhaps through social outreach, to please and relate to others creatively through the arts. Venus in Leo, ruling the Draconic Libra ascendant, adds a dramatic social presentation, sharing emotional experiences in a magnetic or charming way through the profession. Notice how it's located in the 10th house, also in the natal as well. In his natal chart, through his Leo ascendant, there can be self-importance and self-drama in how Mohr presents his identity. The ruler of his Leo ascendant is the sun in Taurus. So his energy is channeled into building and maintaining something of value and significance. So we can combine the Draconic ascendant and its ruler, and the natal ascendant and its ruler, as well as the sun and moon blend in both horoscopes, to come up with some intriguing questions that we could ask our clients. So imagine in consultation with Mr. Mohr, by incorporating his draconic sun-moon blend in Cancer, Pisces, taking into account his natal sun in Taurus, his draconic ascendant in Libra, the ruler, Venus in Leo, we could come up with a statement as such. Mr. Mohr, please tell me about your ability to reach out in order to please the public in a creative and dramatic way. Please tell me, how has that allowed you to create security, build something of value, and identify the ideal? How does this allow you to express your emotions freely without inhibition? Please share with me the sense of purpose or fulfillment this allows you. So you can see how we can come up with some very interesting creative connections by incorporating just a few variables from the draconic and the natal horoscope. Madonna has her draconic ascendant in Aquarius, as well as the draconic moon in Aquarius. Her higher self or soul intuitively needs to be unusual and socially significant to revolutionize and reform society in her own unique way, and mixing innovation with business, as the ruler of her draconic ascendant is Uranus in the sign of Capricorn. With the uniqueness of comedian talk show host David Letterman's draconic Aquarian sun, and the need to be right and in control with the draconic moon in Scorpio, his identity can feel indispensable to others. And then we sprinkle in that draconic Leo ascendant and we get an extra dose of drama and self-importance. So his relationships are dependent upon or conditioned by his intellect, his powerful communication skills, and his ability to quickly assess and critique any situation. The draconic moon in Scorpio adds artful persuasion. The sun sitting right on the descendant in the public 7th, and the moon in the communications 3rd. So study the draconic ascendant in the horoscopes of people that you know and see if you feel how their draconic ascendant comes through. Do you feel a combination of their natal ascendant with their draconic ascendant? Do you feel their draconic ascendant is stronger? Or do you feel that the natal ascendant is stronger? Experiment with it and see what you come up with. In the next talk, we'll look at the draconic midheaven. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope you're enjoying these talks.